love has an identity.
Hey, I'm Jeremy with One More Step, doing something different on YouTube. And today, I'm going to talk to you about roses and vines.
Okay, so here's the thing. I hear a lot of people sharing their opinion about love. I hear a lot of people say love is, and then fill that blank. So maybe sometimes they're referencing just whatever comes to mind in the moment. Or maybe sometimes people have different things that their family and friends have really taught them to think about it. They might have a religion and that really tells them what to think about it. And they might reference that. Someone might bring up poetry or philosophy, but almost always people are really looking through the lens of their experience in particular with relationships with other humans for their definition of love. And really everybody wants the right to just love in their own way. I just want to talk a little bit about love. And I don't want to just give you my opinion. Now you might be like, hey, I don't know you, and you got 5 more seconds to get to your point. Well, if that's you, I'm not going to give you a definition of love in 5 seconds. So you should probably go check out like another platform or another YouTuber or something like that if that's what you're looking for. But if you want to get a little bit deeper into it, I promise I got something for you. I'm not going to waste your time. So let's get into it. I'm going to use vines and roses to talk to you about love. So I remember last year, I started really getting into being a good steward of the exterior of my home. I was newly married and the pandemic had been going on for a few months. It was about June of 2020. And we started to notice these rose bushes that we didn't realize were there because we had just moved in started to bloom. We live in the Midwest. Everything was just dead in winter. And then in spring, everything started to sprout up. And I noticed, wow, here are these rose bushes, and they were beautiful because the roses were beginning to bloom, and they were so beautiful. And then there's these really cool vines just coming out of them around. I'm like, man, what kind of rose bushes are these? These are really cool. These are really awesome. And I just associated those vines with the overall rose bushes. Let's say that these roses sort of represent love. Okay. As I'm gardening them and just taking care of them, I felt like I was learning so much. And then one day, my landlord, because we're renting, the landlord came and he was like, oh, those vines, those are actually weeds. Those vines are actually weeds. And I said, what? Really? And he said, yeah, these are weeds. These weeds are actually choking out the rose bushes. And then I looked at them and I saw how the vines were just twisting around the bushes in different places, around the stems and around the leaves. And I noticed not just the rose bushes, but our other plants, these vines were sprouting up everywhere, just like any weed, just like common weeds, just sprouting up all over the place. But these particular weeds, these weed vines are entangling themselves into anything. And after becoming so entangled, one could really not see the root of these, not see where they're coming from, and really mistake them, misidentify them, and maybe even come to really like them and identify them as something good, not realizing though whether your opinion of it is good or not is actually irrelevant to the fact that they are actually choking out life. Plants are life, and this weed has a job to choke out the life of the plant. These beautiful roses that represent love are being choked out by the vines. And so that means eventually over time, unchecked, these vines would kill the roses. In life, you find that a lot of people just say, love, and then fill that in. Love is ... And they fill that in. And really the truth is, what I find a lot of times what people are doing is that they're calling vines love because they don't know how to differentiate, like I didn't, between a rose and a vine. They don't actually know how to differentiate between love and something else. They just know how they feel about it. If I feel this way about the vine, then that makes it a rose. But that's actually not the truth. It really, ultimately, there are certain things that are not just relative, and love is not relative. Love, like a rose, is real. And so you really need to ask yourself, are you just defining love for itself? Because if you are, then you very well might be calling a rose a vine, and actually therefore becoming a part of something that's actually choking out life, choking out love, because you feel like it is, but that doesn't make it so. So you really have to ask yourself, do I really know what love is? And as we begin to open ourselves up to the truth of love, love begins to speak to you. So open yourself up to the one true love, where all love flows from, so that you can recognize love, so that you can receive love, so that love can overwhelm you.